What's up, guys? This is Cody with Cody Walling Fishing. I'm sure as you know, when the year goes by, fish and their locations and their attitudes, their behavior, they all change. So what I want to help you guys do today is to be able to adapt with those changing conditions. Each month has something subtly different from the next in how the fish act. So what I want to do is help put you guys on fish for the month of August. In August, it's the very end of summer. We refer to it as the dog days of summer. So it's hot, it's gross. You're gonna be out there and you're gonna be sweating your off. So what I wanna help you do is locate those fish and catch those fish. So let's try and figure out what the bass would be doing at this point. So it's really, really hot, which means that there's not a whole lot of oxygen in the water for those fish. So they're not gonna wanna run around chasing bait, being very active. So that tells us one thing, we need to slow down. Also, with the water temperature being hotter up toward the top of the water column, those fish are gonna push low. So they're gonna be slower and they're gonna be lower. And then obviously you gotta find structure for them. So knowing that, we're gonna look for structure in deeper water and we're gonna fish slower. One little thing that is kind of a caveat is if you can find running water or quickly moving water, that's where you want to set up, because that running and moving water brings more oxygen to the water, which fish obviously like. They enjoy breathing. So, having that in mind, let's explore the top 5 lures for the month of August, and let's get right into it. So for the 5th place on the top 5 baits for August, I'm gonna say a topwater frog. I love throwing a frog. There's something special about being able to throw the frog out there, work it across some mats, and then out of nowhere, and then you get to hook set that thing with some heavy pound braid, pull it out of some salad that's sitting in the lake. It's exhilarating. It's high octane bass fishing. I love frog fishing. But this time of the year, it can be especially good for a couple reasons. Number one, it's weedless. And it being weedless is going to play into the next few things I say here. So with it being a weedless lure, we want to use that to our advantage. During the hot times of the summer, the bass will congregate in grassy areas. Sometimes you'll get matted hydrilla, matted milfoil, various types of matted vegetation sitting on the top of the water. And what that matted cover does is it provides shade for the bass. So while all that grass is taking on the heat of the sun, it provides that shade and cooler water up underneath. So if you can hit it early in the morning or even midday, you can take that topwater frog, work it across thickly matted or partially matted vegetation, and the bass should be lurking underneath because of the cooler water temperature underneath those mats. So with that in mind, take a frog into August, work it across some mats, and see what you can get into. So our 4th best lure for the month of August, this one's gonna cater to you offshore guys, a shaky head. And it's not just an offshore bait, you can use it all over the place, but it's really, really good on firm, hard bottom without a whole lot of muck. Shaky heads can be great tossed into brush piles. They can be great fished around docks slowly. They can be great worked on shell bars that are somewhat offshore, paralleling banks. And then there's grass edges. You can flip them to reeds, or you can just work them along a hard line. Cast them out at a 45 and then bring them back to the boat or back to the bank, whatever you're fishing. So with that being said, just toss your shaky head out there and see what you can get. It's a really, really good bait. Like we said, it's a good slow moving bait. It's a good bottom contact bait. And what did we say in the intro? We're gonna go slower and we're gonna go deeper. So find that brush pile offshore, cast to it with that shaky head, let that thing drop in there and see what's lying for you. Also, you can drag it along a shell bed offshore. But again, focus on cover that is deeper and cooler water, and the bass should be there ready to eat your shaky head. Go try it out. All right, so the 3rd one I'm gonna lay out for the month of August is for all the people that Randy Block would call Flat brimmers. Yeah, you young guys that like to play offshore with your live scope, this one's for you. So we're gonna go in third place. We're gonna go any type of minnow or hover style bait, but go big. So that zoom wing fluke or that Sakamata shad in the 6-inch area, grab those, throw them on your hover rig, and go find those offshore bass that you like to find so much. As we said, remember, the bass that are offshore, they're gonna probably wanna be a little bit deeper. They're probably gonna be a little bit more slower moving. But there are bass that are simply relating to bait. I found that on my local lake here recently. We were fishing, working the visible vegetation that we could see, and then we turn around, look off to the side with the scope, and guess what? There's loads of shad, and there's loads of bass underneath them. Cast out there with a chatterbait, boom, 7-pounder on the line. So, there are definitely bass all over the place this time of year. They're definitely deeper, and some of them are even relating to bait when there's nothing else around. So, pick up that hover rig, pull out your big winged fluke, pull out a big Sakamata shad, hook it on there, and go see what you can get into. Let me know how it goes. Alright, we're getting close to the good stuff. So in second place, my second best lure for the month of August, it's going to be any type of flipping plastic. So that could be your Senko type plastic. You could flip a creature bait, and then we'll even throw in a flippin' jig. And the reason flipping is so good in this month, and you could probably throw in punching too, punching through matted vegetation, but the reason this is so good in August is because those fish are not moving a whole lot. They're sitting in one place trying to just kind of survive and take a meal that is opportunistic. Well, when you're flipping or punching, you're giving the bass that opportunistic meal. So as you're working down a hard line and you're flipping along, the bass could just be sitting there waiting for something to pass by, and guess what? You pitch that bait right to where it's looking for an opportunistic feed, and then you've got a big old bass on the line. So that's definitely something you want to consider when these bass are not wanting to move, when they're wanting to stay stuck to the bottom where the cooler water is. Go flip a jig, go flip a plastic toward your vegetation, punch it through some milfoil or hydrilla, and let it surprise a bass into eating. I feel like flipping is a lot of a reaction bite just by surprising them and quickly dropping it in on top of their heads. But hey, a bite is a bite. It doesn't matter if you surprise it or if that thing intends to eat your bait. You got bit. So make sure you go and rig up a jig, rig up a soft plastic, and try flipping a hard line and see how it works for you. All right, here we are, number 1. What do you think it is? Before I say it, put it in the comments. What do you think is the best lure that you can use in the month of August to catch fish? My opinion, number 1 is a chatterbait. And it goes against almost everything I've said in this video, but you've gotta have a lure to find them. And so you can flip all day, but if you're flipping in dead water, you're not gonna catch anything. But you can cover a lot of water with a chatterbait. You can work it multiple different ways, and it goes great through grass. So when we're fishing that chatterbait, what I want you guys to do is, again, focus on that deeper water, which means we're gonna fish our chatterbait super slow, low to the bottom. You don't wanna feel the thump when you're reeling that thing in. Ideally, you may feel a super slow tick as it's vibrating back and forth, but you don't wanna feel anything over the top. Allow that chatterbait to work super slow, super low, and let it run up in front of some bass that are just waiting, again, on that opportunistic feed. Fish it in grassy areas, especially, like we said earlier, bass like to hold the grass because it gives them a cooler climate to hang out in during these hot summer months. So, even though it's a little bit more of a moving bait compared to some of the ones we've talked about, don't rule out the chatterbait. I think it may just catch you some bass in the month of August. Alright guys, that's all. Those are my top 5 lures for the month of August. We have a topwater frog, a shaky head, a flipping plastic, a hover plastic, and then a chatterbait. If you have those 5 things on your deck, on your backpack, or in your kayak for the month of August, I have little to no doubts that you'll be able to catch a fish in the month of August. Do you agree with this list? I hope so. I like to think I'm getting better at knowing what I'm doing, but there are always those better than me. So if you're one of them, let me know. I'm here to learn just like you guys are. Thank y'all so much. If you made it to the end of this video, please like, hit the subscribe, and share this video with your friends. A comment helps too. I appreciate y'all's attention so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.